So my dad wanted to have me aborted, and the fact that I'm sitting here right now before you and on this channel and trying to help people in situations where they need encouragement is just to show that God has a plan for each and every one of us. And it's unfortunate that anybody can be so indifferent to bringing a life into this world to think that they could just do one small act and that constitutes taking away the right of somebody who can fulfill, a great life and to help, who can help a lot of people. I've impacted a lot of people. I've encouraged people, and just that small act of somebody thinking that this life doesn't matter and they could just take it away just like that, will strip away all that God has for you in your life. And specifically, I mean plan for your life, because you may think that, hey, my family doesn't value me, or my friends don't value me, society doesn't value me. They say that I'm not who I'm supposed to be, or I don't fit a certain mold. But the fact is that God set you apart, and God has a purpose for each and every one of us. We are unique. We all have our own unique journey, and we all have our own unique upbringings. So the fact that God has you here today means that there's a purpose that you need to fulfill, and you're of great value. And here's the thing: the enemy is going to continue to try to find ways to stop God's plan. So even though I wasn't aborted, when I was in the womb, my mom got in a car accident and shattered her leg, to the point where the stress and pain, all that anxiety, I almost died again. And so the fact is, if the enemy can't get you with plan A, it's going to try plan B. Satan's going to try plan C, and Satan's never going to stop trying to stop what God has for you, because he knows that God has great plans for you and great ways to change the world. And so with that example that I just gave about how, Satan is still going to try to fulfill the plan of, ending my life, for example, and trying to make sure that I can't go out there and encourage at least one person. If I can encourage one person on the internet, that's another person that Satan doesn't have a hold of, or Satan can't discourage every single day, because there are people out there that are in hard seasons and they feel like their hard seasons are lasting forever. You might be in a hard season where you feel like you can't get out of this rut and bad things keep happening. You can't get ahead of your finances. You're not a confident person. Maybe you're just overall depressed and you don't know why. But here's the thing: some encouragement is that no season lasts forever. Obviously, the good seasons might feel like they are shorter than the hard seasons, but no season lasts forever. You will get through this hard season if you're someone who is going through a hard season and needs encouragement. This might not be obvious, but I think it's fairly common that narcissism is running wild, and it's an overused term. But the fact is that my dad was or is a narcissist and continued to have kids with multiple women, manipulate them through narcissism. And who knows how many brothers and sisters I could have had, half brothers and sisters, how many people were aborted, how many brothers and sisters I don't know about, because I know that they're out there, but I don't have contact with them because he will not reveal that. But one thing I do is I pray, and then I pray that all of them are able to find God and find their purpose, not be discouraged by the fact that, they may be labeled as being a part of a single family home, or having a single mother, or low income. People will try to continue to put labels on you and put you in a box. Satan loves putting you in a box to make you feel like, hey, you're not unique. You're just like this person. You're just like all of your neighbors. There's nothing that you can do that's going to set you apart from anything else. And speaking of setting apart, there's a verse I like to look at, and it's Jeremiah 1 verse 5. God says this: before I formed you, you were in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. So we don't want to continue to believe the lies of the enemy that we are low income, we are not worth anybody's time, we don't have anything special to bring to the table. There's a unique gift, a unique God-given gift that I'm sure that you have, that if you're not sure, go ahead and pray to God and try to find out what that unique gift is. Certain people can talk in front of large crowds, have a beautiful voice that they were born with, are just able to connect with someone one-on-one. So there's definitely a unique gift that you have, a unique thing that you can use to glorify God that is going to be amazing. And I think it's difficult because when you're a young kid, you really don't understand psychology. You don't understand the spiritual warfare. You don't understand that someone wouldn't want you as a son, or why isn't this father, mother present in my life? Why is my family dysfunctional? I don't know what your background is. I think every family has dysfunction in it. But I know that it's looked, you look at two family households or a good income and you assume that, hey, that family's more put together. Or you are in a two family household and divorce, shakes up the household more than being with a single parent ever would. And so there's just so many ways that the enemy can attack you and just try to stray you off the path of what God has. But we have to know that God is in control. God is going to be there for us when we need his assistance, his support. We can go to him at any point. He's always going to be there for us if we pray, we set aside some quiet time, allow him to be involved in our life. He's going to show up. He's not going to deny you. He's not going to forget about you the way that, for example, my father did. He's going to be there, and he has been there, because I found great success. I've had a great life, and it's all glory. All the glory goes to God. And you might be saying, hey, that's a nice story. I'm glad it all worked for you. But you don't understand the pain that I'm going through every single day. And you could be saying that to me right now. And I encourage you, if you're really going through a hard time or a hard season, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'll be there praying for you. And, I pray that you get the support that you need, the encouragement. And I pray that God is going to be there for you to help you out of whatever situation that you feel like you're stuck in. Because I know it's a scary thing to think of, hey, Satan's never going to let up. He's going to keep trying all those different plans. If this plan doesn't work, he's going to try to get you from another angle. And narcissism is just really rampant in society today. And you're just going to see more of that evil of, this is my life. I get to do whatever I want, or I grew up in this circumstance, so I get to treat everybody how I feel like they should be treated because I wasn't treated right. So I'm going to take back everything that I feel like I earned or I should have deserved as a child. And that's, awful. Everybody's going to have struggles, and we may mess up, and we may make wrong decisions or bad decisions, or, we're going to sin. But the reality is you can't just be in a hospital, or you can't just go and say, oh, we're just going to abort that kid because, we don't know what God's plan is for that kid, or we don't know, we can't see the end from the beginning to the end like God can. So hopefully, even though, society is in a really bad place right now, and of course sin is going to continue to run rampant, I pray that you can get control in your small circle, in your small area of life that you're dealing with, whether it be jobs, finances, family, health, anything that could, the enemy could be using to keep you in this hard season, keep you in a difficult time. And here's the thing, if you have some people that are in your life that you feel like don't appreciate you, that don't understand you, that haven't really taken the time to get to know you, let them go. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this isn't my source of positivity. This isn't my source of getting closer to God. Because when we look at it from God's perspective, you weren't an accident. You're not an afterthought. You're somebody who's important and has great value. And all he wishes for is to have relationship with you and to help you the best way that he can. And you're going to just be in so much of a better place if you realize that, you're on this earth for a God-given purpose, that no matter what anybody says out there in society, or no matter what projections people put on you, know that you're valued by the Most High and that you're valued by God. And the ironic thing is that even though my father has not been there to support any of his many kids, or has not cared to be present in my life, I've done great things with kids and been able to support, churches, and, I've worked with kids through all grades and been able to be there as a support for them. I even have a kid next door who doesn't have a father present, and his mom passed away when he was less than a year old, and I get to be there as a form of encouragement and to be there to support him. So you never know how God's going to use you, how sometimes our biggest struggles or our biggest testimonies, our biggest struggles are the things that we're going to be able to use to uplift people, to support people, whether it be friends, family, just some random person that you don't know. So never discount yourself. Never think that you're lesser than, that your testimony doesn't count, or that it's not important, no matter, how you came to God. So be there and, have confidence in who you are. And so with that being said, I didn't want to go on too long about this, but if this helped you at all, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you would be interested in seeing any of the other videos or any content that I have coming up, just as far as Christian encouragement goes. But most importantly, have a blessed day, and thank you for spending time with me today.